Okay, so let's dive into something really fascinating. In the Arreqqana tradition, the entire universe is understood through two simple things: flame and echo. It's this incredible worldview that beautifully ties together the divine, who we are, and even the very definition of family. We're going to unpack how this one single elegant idea really shapes an entire culture.
And this right here, this quote, is the absolute foundation for everything we're about to talk about. It's the idea that divinity isn't some single, far-off being. Nope. It's a force that's right here, all around us, and it lives inside the people we meet every day. Honestly, if you get this one idea, you've got the key to unlocking their entire philosophy.
So this brings us to the first big concept, what they call distributed divinity. I want you to just, for a second, forget everything you think about a single god on a throne somewhere. In this worldview, divinity is more like a force, an energy that's just everywhere, all around us.
All right, the formal term for this is Nakiala Chat Novuamara, or the multiplicity of the goddess. And the word to really hang on to here is resonance. See, divinity isn't a person that shows up. It's more like a frequency, a vibration, that can manifest through anyone. Think of it like a single musical note being played through a whole bunch of different instruments. And this is what makes it so grounded, right? The divine isn't some far-out abstract mystery. It's something you can actually see and feel in your everyday life. You recognize it in the courage of a sister, or the unexpected kindness from a stranger, or even in that little gut feeling you get, your own intuition.
Okay, so this whole idea of divine resonance, it builds into another cool concept, people as vessels. The key here is that individuals aren't seen as being the goddess herself. Not at all. They're seen as carrying a little piece of her divine flame. They become, and I love this, living lamps.
And this quote is just perfect because it really gets at this idea of active participation. The divine flame, which they call lalale, isn't something that's just zapped into you. It's the other way around. Women are honored because they are seen as actively choosing to embody certain pieces of that universal divine energy. And that leads us to this concept of nulama, which translates to the thousand faces. It's such a beautiful way to describe the sheer variety of how the divine can be expressed. But let's be clear, this doesn't mean 1,000 different goddesses. It means 1,000 different ways that the one divine flame can shine through all these different people.
So think about it this way. All the people in your life, collectively, they form what's called the circle of the living goddess. Maybe your mother carries her gentleness, your sister has her courage, your aunts have her laughter. See? When you put them all together, you start to get a much more complete, living, breathing picture of the divine.
So, okay, we've got this really beautiful idea of a shared flame defining what is divine. But, and this is where the philosophy gets really wild, that logic doesn't just stop with spirituality. It goes way, way deeper, right into the most fundamental building block of their society.
Because that same concept, it defines the family. The very structure of kinship, the social rules, who you can and can't be with, all of it. The exact same spiritual logic that explains the divine is used to explain who is and who is not considered your kin.
So in this system, family isn't just about blood relatives. It's measured by something they call thread lineage or soul resonance. Basically, kinship is all about the spiritual distance, how far apart that shared flame is between two people.
And this quote, this is the absolute key to understanding their kinship laws. It completely flips the script. A connection between distant relatives isn't seen as something wrong or impure. Instead, it's a spiritual echo. It's like the universe is bringing two long-lost threads from the same original tapestry back together again.
So this whole philosophy gets translated into a very specific set of rules, and they're called the 4 circles of proximity. This is the system they use to actually measure that spiritual distance, that flame distance between two people.
Okay, so this probably has you wondering, right? How in the world do they actually measure this kinship? Well, the Arreqqana system has an incredibly specific, and I mean specific, answer. And here they are, the 4 circles. So circle 1, the direct echo flame, this is everyone from your parents out to your third cousins. That's forbidden. Why? Because their spiritual threads are still pulsing in sync. But then look at circle 2, the sleeping flame. This covers 4th to 6th cousins, and this is actually permitted. And it gets even more surprising. Circle 3, the faded flame, isn't just allowed, it's actively celebrated as a kind of reunion of ancient family lines.
So what's the difference? It all comes down to spiritual rhythm. In that forbidden direct echo zone, the souls are still sharing the same active pulse. But once you get to the sleeping flame, those threads aren't pulsing together anymore. They just hum. It's a distant echo. And that's how a union gets reframed from something forbidden into a thread reunion.
And this thread reunion even has a specific name, Carolino no Vivaya. So far from being about breaking rules, this is seen as a deeply healing and positive event. It's like you're mending a spiritual tear that happened generations ago, and you're bringing balance back to the whole family line. So just to make this crystal clear, let's take an example. A relationship between, say, fifth cousins. That would fall right in the middle of that sleeping flame category. And in this worldview, that is considered a completely valid, spiritually sound, and socially pure union.
All right, so let's pull all these different threads together and really lock in how this one worldview connects everything from the gods to your family. So, what are the big takeaways? First, divinity isn't just one thing. It's many things found in all the living lamps around us. Second, kinship isn't about blood. It's about soul resonance. This completely reframes attraction between distant relatives as a kind of ancestral echo. And what that all means is that ultimately, every connection you have, whether it's spiritual or personal, is all about harmony, echo, and symmetry.
And this last quote just brings it all home, doesn't it? It perfectly sums up the whole philosophy. There might be one single divine source, one original flame, but the experience of it, the way we see it in other people, in family, in love, that has to be plural. It's beautiful.
So that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If the world really is made of echoes and reflections, it's a pretty powerful question to ask yourself, isn't it? What part of that original flame are you carrying? And what kind of echo are you reflecting out into the world?